Hey everybody, so it is 12 o'clock on the dot, and that means that we're gonna get kicked off here. So it has been a really exciting week. I think a lot of you saw on my Instagram and on the DCM Communications Instagram last week that I got to go to the Prevent Cancer Foundation Spring Gala, which was at the National Building Museum. One of the things that was probably the most fun about that, of course, was getting to meet and interview David Tutera, who, as many of you in the events industry know, is kind of a BFD. Okay, he has done absolutely beautiful events. If you follow him also on Instagram, you'll get to see the shoe line that he's creating and all these other stuff when it comes to amazing entrepreneurial tips, as well as those about events specifically and just kind of the designs he comes up with. One of the things that I loved the most about that interview, though, was he knew he was being interviewed. And that sounds kind of silly to be like, well, you're standing there with a recorder and you're a reporter at that time. So like, yes, he knew it. But what I mean by that is that he was prepared to talk to someone of the press about his event, okay? This is something that I see happen a lot whenever I'm reporting on a story or I'm representing BizBash out at events, is that I'm going to sit there and have specific questions, and I may email you and say, I want to set up an interview, okay? That word interview, big reminder, means everything that you say on that call is then going to be on the record, okay? It's really important to know that. The other thing is to prepare beforehand. It's totally fine to always ask a reporter, okay, what are some of the questions that you're going to be asking so that you can have that information ready? Because there's nothing more frustrating than asking a question and getting a very short answer. Specifically those in events, a lot of the things that you're wanting to promote is going to be your design ideas, maybe how you started your company, how you're growing your company, or where your concept came from and what your strategy is. All of that takes time. You know, you put in the time to come up with it. Make sure that you utilize that reporter's time and get the information out to them, okay? Short answers are those like, well, this year was just really better. You know, our team did a good job, or we just felt really inspired. Isn't really gonna cut it, okay? You really need to go into a little more detail. As you'll be able to see from the video that I had posted last week, as well as the story that came out on BizBash, which is also going to be included in the weekly recap coming out later today, you're going to be able to see, like, he gave more detail, okay? You got to go into the detail in that strategy. The more that you can say up front, and the fact that in an interview, you should actually be dominating about 75 to 95% of that conversation, that's what's really going to make sure that not only do you come across as a thought leader, but that your story helps get published. You know, if we can't get a lot of information out of you, then I may think that there's a story there. Another reporter, whoever's interviewing, may think there's a story. But if we can't get you to say it, that leads, one, people to jump to conclusions, which is where our whole fun fake news and issues that people are attacking the media about are coming about right now. And it also hurts your credibility because you're leaving things up to interpretation as opposed to being able to really specifically tell them, where did your ideas come from? How did the strategy work for this? Which further brands your company and gives people that opportunity to see, oh, wow, they really do know what they're doing. I should hire that person for my event. So spearing off that, okay, one, you need to have great interview techniques. Number two, like, another way to get really good press is to tell people. You know, you have to pitch somebody. It doesn't always have to be a press release, but it really does need to be a lot of outreach from you to bloggers, to local publications, to national publications. You never know if you don't try. And the only way to get it out there is, like, start by pitching them and then give them access, whoever that is, whether it's BizBash or it's your local publication where you are, it's the news, it's a social publication if that's your angle. Just make sure you reach out and tell them, because reporters are always looking for stories, and there's nothing better than having a story fall in my lap and that I just have to pursue and go from there, okay? So following Prevent Cancer, I then got to go to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Ball, which was on Saturday night at the Convention Center. This gala is huge. You know, it's every year they have almost 2,000 people that are there. And this year they did an unbelievable job with the fundraising through a new campaign they created. And they raised more than $4.1 million in one night. One night. 1 million of that dollars actually came from this new initiative they created, which is the 30 for 30 campaign, which you can read about more next week in the story I'm writing for BizBash. But in that, like, they looked at a new way to raise money and they brought in millions. That is an awesome thing. Okay. And I think it's amazing when you're actually able to showcase that and show how many people really care about a cause that you're working in. Plus, the entertainment is something that, I really don't see done by a lot of other people here. They had Jim Gaffigan, the comedian, just about had me in stitches at the event. He was hilarious. He was actually supposed to be there last year, but then got called away to do a TV special at the last minute. So we had Howie Mandel, who, do not get me wrong, also hilarious. But Jim Gaffigan kind of brings a very unique perspective to things. So he was really funny. And then Andy Grammer, oh my gosh, every woman loves him right now, let's be real. But he was also so much fun. He had a lot of energy and really got a lot of people dancing. And they did a really good job with the Young Professionals Committee because they offered a discounted ticket, right? So this is something that a lot of nonprofits are starting to do now. And they're offering a reduced ticket price for young professionals to be able to afford to come and also support the organization. So what LLS does is that they offer, this year it was a $175 ticket, and those people get to come in for the entertainment, which comes after dinner, and the dancing portion of the event. Okay, so dinner has already taken place, and then more than 200 additional people are added to this event. They have special seating on like these two balconies that oversee the main floor of the hall. And they get to enjoy the comedian, they get to have an open bar this year, which is a new upgrade, and they're also there for the dancing afterwards. This is a huge potential and a huge moneymaker for a couple of reasons. One, you're getting money in the door right there, okay? Number two, young professionals, all about social media. Hello, example A, all right? As that fact, you're already expanding the reach of your event and your organization to far beyond that room. And number three, one of the biggest mistakes that I see a lot of nonprofits making right now is that they're not courting younger donors, okay? It is awesome to have an event where it's $1,000 a ticket or even a couple $100 a ticket, and you've got it completely filled and you got all of your seats out there, okay? The problem that you're going to run into, though, is that eventually those donors are going to start to drop off. And if you haven't cultivated a newer group of people that are younger, you're really missing out. There's a lot of millennials right now, and even Generation Y, I guess it was, is right before millennials, with that, they are really excited and really motivated, okay? They use social media. They're also out there and they want to donate. We're reaching a level where it's like, we've got extra money to spend. I want to find a cause. I was really lucky enough to find my specific cause, the American Heart Association, about 5 years ago now. Maybe not the luckiest circumstances that it became my biggest cause, but nonetheless, it's a really, really big part of my life. And it's also something that I am more than happy to find a way to always support and always donate money for, because that's what matters to me. So it's really something that I think more nonprofits should take advantage of. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. There's also some fun software out there. Yes, I'm going to do a small little promotion here for one of my clients, which is Swell Fundraising. And they actually utilize that peer-to-peer fundraising model to make sure that not only are the people in your event donating to the cause, but you're actually connecting to every single one of their networks. Okay, so it's like an exponential reach. And all you have to do is just make your event a little bit more tech savvy than it was to begin with. Hello, super awesome, really easy, and it's a pretty platform. They also have a new offering that's going to be coming out soon, which I'm really excited to share with y'all, but I'm not going to tease that just yet. Next big thing this week is that some of you have already joined, and I'm so excited to see that, created a new Facebook group. Okay, it's Events Entrepreneurs, all right? Make sure you look it up, ask to join. This is for anybody that is working in the live events industry. You're a wedding planner or a florist or a corporate event planner, whether you own your own business or you're just trying to build somebody else's business in that way, this is really gonna be a great forum for you. We have a mix of people from all over the country. There's people in LA and in New York and here in DC. Got a lot of my friends from down in Miami and Tampa and Orlando and Jacksonville, and it's really nice to see so many people kind of coming together. And there are a lot of special circumstances that come up, not just with having a small business and not just having an events business or working in events, but building that event business. Veterans, you may be sitting there trying to scale your events and scale your business. You've been working in events for, say, 10 years or even 20 years. But now you don't want to have a lot of smaller events. You really want to be capitalizing on getting higher ticket events. The way to do that is by scaling your business and growing it. How do you do that? You got to find your new ideal client. You got to make sure you're targeting them where they are. These are all the really great things that a lot of people who are newer to the industry are going to be able to offer you. It's new techniques, it's new marketing tactics, and making sure that you're really taking advantage of what both sides of the conversation have to offer, okay? And it's going to be the people that have been around for a while and they've established their business. Maybe they want to take it to that next level, as well as those who are just getting started. If you want advice, you want to share some tips, or you really just want to share something that's awesome that you did this week. Thursday triumphs, my favorite day of the week. I want to hear y'all brag about yourselves. You've been working hard all week. A lot of us work over the weekend as well, being at events. Let's hear about it. You do something awesome every week. I guarantee it. Every single person does. So whether it's a big win or it's a small win, come here and share it, because through that community is where you're really going to help develop those relationships and really get a lot more. You get back what you give out into the world. And I truly believe that, as granola, as some people may think it is, but it's really the case. And if you're willing to sit there and share what you've done and engage with other people, they're going to want to engage with you back. Good marketing and social marketing lesson in general. So that was really exciting. The Cherry Blossom Festival officially kicked off last night with the pink tie party. So if you want to see a look there, make sure you go and check out the DCM Communications Instagram story in particular, because there are some really great photos, as well as the most unbelievable lighting display and projections that they put on the ceiling every year, which are just so nice. So even though there is still snow on the ground, which is ridiculous considering it is the middle of March, we have gotten started with the Cherry Blossom Festival, and there's so many great events coming up with that. In particular, I'm looking forward to one that's called the Rosé Romp. Yes, absolutely love rosé, and at an event I attended earlier this week, I learned that you can drink it year-round. It really doesn't have to be summer, although it does kind of lend itself to that. So I hope that you've really enjoyed this and gotten a lot of information. Please make sure you stick around. Sign up for the weekly recap. There's information there that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else. And there is a link on the very top of the DCM Communications website. So check that out. Look to join events entrepreneurs. You want to build your business in this industry and really get connected. This is a way to do that. Get the support that you're not going to get from other people, and not necessarily your competition, but it's a matter of really creating that community. Events are all about face-to-face interaction, even if it's only for a short amount of time. Well, now we're taking that digital, and we're going to do that through the Events Entrepreneurs Group. So feel free to post, comment on other people's things. Today's Follow Friday, so share some of your own social accounts or blog stories that you'd like to get some traction for, and let's get a discussion going. All right, I hope y'all have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.